Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3,000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2239, and that one is I Gotcha by Joe Tex. This one came out in 1972, or at least that's when it peaked. One all the way to number two was his biggest hit. And here's a picture of the single, and it was also released on his 1972 album with the same title, I Gotcha. And here's a big picture of Joe Tex around the time Tex around the time we recorded it. And I'll start by featuring a sample of the song and reacting to it. So here it goes.
Well, I got you. You thought I didn't see you now, didn't you? You tried to sneak by me now, didn't you? Now give me what you promised me. Give it here. Come on. Good God. You promised me the day that you quit your boyfriend, I'd be the next one to ease on me. You promised me it would be just us two, yeah. And I'd be the only man kissing on you, yeah. Now kiss me, hold it a long time, hold it. Don't turn it loose, now hold it. A little bit longer, now hold it. Come on, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Now ease up on me now.
Okay, that's the first minute of I Gotcha by Joe Tex. It's almost half the song. I think it's a good, catchy song, and it got a good dance beat, very funky beat, if you call it soul or funk or what you call it. But, I think it's a good song, maybe a little raunchy. I mean, I think you kind of got to realize, too, that our standards, I think in 1972, at least for women, were a lot lower than they are today. So, you got to kind of take that into account. But, I think it's a good soul song, and I think he was a good singer. I don't know too many of Joe Tex songs. Not too much to say about the song, by the way. You just heard it, and like I said, kind of a raunchy song in which he's declaring his interest in this woman, saying, "I gotcha." Almost like giving her an ultimatum, like she said she was interested in him, and she wants to hold him to that, basically. Anyway, so now I guess I'll talk about Joe Tex. He was, I guess he didn't live very long. He was born in 1935. I guess that he got his nickname Joe Tex because he was born in Texas. I think he lived in Texas his whole life. He was born in a small town called Rogers, Texas in 1935. He died in 1982 at age just 47 in another town called Navasota, Texas. Never heard of either of those towns. I haven't been to Texas too many times. I've been to San Antonio and through the Panhandle. I went to I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but there's a restaurant where they serve 72-ounce steaks if you eat the whole thing. And they give it to you for free. I tried that. I got about two-thirds of the way through it. But anyway, not a huge fan of Texas in general, although, I'd like to go some other places there. Like one of these days, I'd like to see the Mission Control Houston, and, I'd like to go to Austin. I've still never been there, although I heard it's a nice college town. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of Texas. Maybe now I should just go through his hits. Oh, by the way, he got started. He started with gospel like a lot of other soul singers did, and he was musically active from 1955 until the year he died in 1982. And now I'm going to go through his hits, and he actually had a lot of hits, although most of them were minor hits. And he was mainly an R&B singer. He had several, big R&B hits, even a few that went to number one. And his first hit was in 1964. It was called "Hold What You've Got," and that one went to number five and was also number one R&B. And then 1965, he had "You've Got What It Takes," which went to number 51. The flip side was "You Better Get It," which went to number 46. And then he had a song called "A Woman Can Chance a Man," which went to number 56. "Don't Let Your Left Hand Know," which went to number 95. And then he had a song called "One Monkey Don't Stop No Show," which went to 65. I have an interesting story about this song. I featured at number 2856 on my list another song called "One Monkey Don't Stop My No Show." That was by Honeycomb, which I think is a really good song. And I remember, I put together, I guess song list on my phone around the time I made this list, and I tried to download every song on my list, and by accident, I downloaded a Joe Tex song, "One Lucky Don't Stop No Show," which is a completely different song. It's mostly a spoken song. It's not a bad song, but it's not one I would have put on my top 3,000, although it's an okay song. I prefer Honeycomb's version. Just thought I'd mention that. And then he had a song called "I Want to Do Everything for You," which went to number 23. "A Sweet Woman Like You," which went to number 29. In 1966, he had "The Love You Save May Be Your Own," which went to 56. I'm pretty sure that's the same song later recovered by the Jackson 5, and their version went all the way to number 1. That one, their version is coming up on my list. And then he had a song called "SYSLJFM," subtitled "The Letters Song." I don't know what those letters stand for. I've never heard this song, but that one went to number 39. And then he had "I Believe I'm Gonna Make It," which went to 67. I've got to Do a Little Bit Better, which went to 64. And "Papa Was Two," which went to 44. And then in 1967, he had "Show Me," which went to 35. "Woman Like That, Yeah," which went to 54. "A Woman's Hands," which went to 63. And then he had a second top 10, a song called "Skinny Legs and All." That one went to number 10. And then 1968, he had "Men Are Getting Scarce," which went to 33. "I Never Do You Wrong," which went to 59. "Keep the One You Got," which went to 52. "When You Need Me, Baby," which went to 81. In 1969, he had "That's Your Baby," which went to 88. "Playing a Book," which went to, yeah, I think that's it. "Playing a Book," which went to 47, and "That's the Way," which went to 94. I don't think that's the same "That's the Way" as "That's the Way I Like It" by Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's a pretty excellent song, by the way. One's coming up pretty high on my list. And then in 1972, he had the song I'm featuring today, "I Gotcha," which just missed the top spot, went to number 2. The flip side was "A Mother's Prayer," which didn't chart on its own. I think by then they weren't charting B-sides anymore. And then he had a song called "You Said a Bad Word," which went to number 41. And finally, in 1977, he had what I think is a pretty funny song, and I remember this one. It's called "Ain't Gonna Buck No More with No Big Fat Woman." And that one went to number 12. And I don't think that would be a hit today because I think it would be considered prejudice against obese people. But, I thought it was a funny song when it came out. Anyway, those were the hits for Joe Tex. Pretty prolific soul musician, and a pretty great one too, I think. Anyway, that completes my feature for today on "I Gotcha" by Good Joe Tex. So here's a little soul music. Thank you for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.